Welcome back. Chapter 3. I was pretending to watch Access Hollywood when the doorbell rang. B.B. King growled. He's still grieving too and hunches down on all fours whenever I take out his leash. I give up trying. He has put on weight, but he's not the only one. Just a minute, I tried to say in a friendly tone, but friendly people call first. When I looked through the glass, I was surprised to see Odessa, but rules of etiquette have never applied to her. I opened the door and tried not to look suspicious, even though I was. Odessa has never subscribed to our mother's advice that the only place you should look bad is at home. She dresses like a lumberjack, always in plaid shirts and black leggings, no matter how hot it is. She seems to be afraid of lipstick and only wears gloss, but she hadn't even bothered with that today. Her lips were dull. Why haven't you deposited that check? What check? I asked, and then immediately remembered she had given me an envelope at Carl's celebration, which I realized in that moment was now almost 2 months ago. How about, hello, sis? How are you doing? And sorry I didn't call first? She stormed right past me, flopped down on the sofa, crossed her legs, and rocked her right foot up and down. She didn't have socks on in those New Balance sneakers. I'm sorry, how you've been doing, Lo? Not great. Well, it's to be expected. They say grief takes as long as it takes, and I'm sorry to barge in on you like this, but I'm glad you didn't deposit the check yet. I went into my bedroom and opened both closet doors. When I reached up to the top shelf to grab the black clutch, my elbow accidentally knocked one of Carl's sports jackets off his hanger and onto his black loafers. I looked down at it, and then my eyes zigzagged back and forth towards the rows of his other shoes, and then back up at all his dress shirts on the left, and then over to his favorite 5 suits. And you can't find it? A female voice yelled. Find what? I looked toward the door because for a moment I didn't know who it was or what she was asking me, and then I did. I found it, I said. I picked up Carl's sports jacket and laid it flat across the bed. Sorry. Then I wrapped my arms around his suits and pulled them out and placed them gently on the bed. When I looked at the shoes and shirts, I realized this was not the time, but it was time for me to pack his personal belongings. He wouldn't need them anymore. I opened the purse and saw the white envelope Odessa had given me, rolled up like a straw. I took it out, walked back into the living room where she had helped herself to a Pepsi. Here it is. Why didn't you deposit it? You didn't think it was good? I just forgot. There was a lot going on, if you remember correctly. Don't deposit it. Why not? Because something else has come up. I'm not even going to ask. I borrowed against my house a while back, and I owe the bank a lot of money, more than I owe you. Anyway, how have you been holding up? I'd already told her I was not great, so I didn't bother to respond. But then I heard myself say, I'm thinking about selling both my stores and retiring. To do what? I said I was thinking about it. You know, it's not smart to make rash decisions when you're grieving. So I've heard. They say you should give yourself at least a year. Well, I've closed both, at least temporarily, but I'm serious about selling the LA one at least. Why? Because it doesn't make any sense to keep it. I don't need the money or the hassle, and I'm too damn old. And plus, I'm just tired. Well, we all grieve in our own way. I suppose I'll know when the day comes that I'm not consumed by sadness. But right now, it feels like a wound that's never going to heal. Come to my church. The Lord can help you mend faster. Don't start with me today, Odessa. Fine, do it the hard way then. Not to bring up a sore subject, But how close was Carl to finishing up the renovations on Ma's house? It's not Ma's house. Carl and I own it. But she told me I could have it. When did she tell you that? At the repast. She said she wasn't going to say anything to you. Look, Odessa, can we talk about this another time? I'm not in the mood. I want the house. Just then, I heard B.B. King at the back door whining to be let in. When he saw Odessa, he started growling. He has never cared for her. That dog is going to outlive all of us. Let me say this clearly. I have tried to be nice to you, Odessa, because you're my sister. I have bailed your ass out every time you get in financial trouble, which seems to be some kind of ongoing illness you have. But I am not the cure. I don't know why you think I owe you something just because you're my sister. But guess what? I'm not your keeper, and how I make money is my business. You can't have Ma's house because it's not hers to give. Why don't you tell me how you really feel? She did. You drive a 530i BMW, and every time I look around, you're at Nordstrom or headed to Cabo. You're too old to be living hand to mouth, Odessa, and I'm tired of you thinking me and Ma should fix things for you. This is why nobody like you. B.B. King growled at her. Don't twist this around on me, Odessa. I have a basketball team worth of close friends who will do anything in the world for me. How about you? I have lots of friends. Then why don't you ever call them to help you out when you mismanage your damn money? I don't mismanage. I can no longer afford my lifestyle, which happens to a lot of people when they get old. You need to learn how to express yourself without cursing. You're a shopaholic and you're a hoarder. You buy stuff you don't need, don't use, and don't ever even wear. And then she started crying. But B.B. King was not moved because he growled at her again. Stop it, B.B., I said, and dropped to the floor and put his chin on his front paws to watch. Wait a minute. He dropped to the floor and put his chin on his front paws to watch what I could tell even he knew was a bad soap opera. I'm sorry. That was mean, I said. I didn't want to, but I walked over and hugged her. She felt limp, pitiful, so I squeezed her harder. I do a lot of things but backwards, she said. But I'm trying to get better. Maybe if you just let me move into Ma's house for a year or two, I could pay off my bills and get out of debt. I promise I'll take good care of the house. Why do you need a 3-bedroom house to live in by yourself, Odessa? I have a lot of furniture. That's not a good enough reason. We should keep it in the family, Laretha. I'll think about it, okay? I heard myself blurt out and regretted it right after I said it. How long before it's ready? I haven't exactly been focused on finding someone to oversee the rest of the renovations yet, Odessa. She stared at me blankly. Go home, Odessa. That's what I'm hoping you can help me do one day soon. As she headed toward the door, B.B. King growled at her a final time. He's probably going to be next to go. And she walked out the door, proving once again that just because someone is family doesn't mean you have to like them. And that's a word. Even though it's been 3 months since Carl has been gone, I have not had the strength to start thinking about doing any of the things he promised my girlfriends I would. To their credit, they haven't been harassing me about it. We're here for you is what they say in our group text. Whatever we can do, we'll do. Just let us know when you're ready to let us help you smile. I don't know what I'd do without them. I'm glad you agreed to walk with me, Corinthia said. I need to do something, but you know I cannot walk around the entire Rose Bowl, Corinthia. You don't know that. Now do you, Lo? No, but cut me some slack. I said yes. My bones are rusty and my muscles have oh, that's a word, y'all. I ran across my first word. Atrophied. Look at you and look at me. She just shrugs her shoulders. I just want to get you out of the house, Lo, away from everything and everybody, including BB King. This, of course, made me laugh. He wanted to come, but I shut him in the backyard on the side of the pool under one shade tree we have. He looked at me like he was being abandoned. His water bowl was full, but when he saw the 2 small milk bones I had given him, since I was now limited his snacks, I swear he rolled his eyes at me. You're more out of shape than me, Mr. King, and we both need to snap out of these blues. Carl will want us to. Now I'm going to walk at least 1/4 of the Rose Bowl with your Aunt Corinthia, who I'm sure sends her love. Bye. He looked like he wanted to bark at me, but changed his mind, probably because he knew dinner would be more of the same if he dared. So, Corinthia said while bending over and stretching those long black legs that do not look like they are 68 years old, I have some good news. I would love to hear some good news, Co. I finally passed the real estate exam. Really? I said, since this made her 3rd or 4th attempt, but then I cleaned it up. Congratulations. So you're going to be selling houses. I want to fix them up and flip them. Come on, let's move. You know, I'm now the owner of a construction company. So what are you going to do with it? I haven't thought about it. I'm not at all interested in operating a construction company. I really think Carl just wanted to make sure I was financially solvent should something happen to him. Carl was not just a good man, but a smart one. I can't even begin to imagine anybody thinking that far ahead about me. I think he would want me to sell it so it wouldn't be a burden. So sell it. I can't walk fast, I warned. I'm not expecting you to. We huffed forward silently for the next 5 or 6 minutes. So how are you feeling, Lo? Even though that's probably a silly question. No, it's not. Like this is all a bad dream and I'm just waiting to wake up. That's normal. I felt like that when my mama passed. You remember that? We were in 9th grade. Yes, I do. I didn't talk for 2 weeks. Because you couldn't? Because I was pissed at her for taking all those pills and leaving us kids to pick up the pieces. I didn't know what to say, so I just looked up at the houses peeking out through the forest of all kinds of trees. One of them was where Lucky lived. When Corinthia's mother died, none of us had ever known a black person who had taken their own life. We thought only white people committed suicide, and that was only because we had seen so much of it on television. I don't think your mama did that to hurt you or your brothers, Co. I know that now, but back then I didn't. Aren't you pissed at Carl for dying? She stopped and turned to look me in the eye, forcing at least 10 people to walk around us. Yes, I am. Not deep in my heart, but I wish he hadn't felt the need to keep his health issues a secret. What about you, Lo? Have you been taking care of yourself? I know the answer is no, which is why I asked you to come out here and walk with me. My heart hurts, Co, and I wonder, if it stops hurting, will that mean I'm forgetting Carl? Of course not, she said, and grabbed me by the hand and started moving again. We walked for 10 or 15 minutes without saying a word. So, when are you thinking about getting back to your businesses? I still want to work at the shop part-time. I've been thinking about retiring. Don't. You'll be bored out of your mind, Lo. Plus, it's not good to make big decisions when you're blue. But maybe closing the LA store is a good compromise. It makes sense at this stage in your life. You mean old? We're senior fucking citizens. Forgive me for swearing. No, don't. Lighten your load, girl. You must be reading my mind. But please sell it to somebody black. Make Madam CJ Walker proud. You heard from Jalecia lately? No, and I've reached out quite a few times. Keep on her low. All of us worry about her. We all agree that she probably needs to go to AA or maybe even one of those rehab places. She won't return my calls. Like I just said, bug the shit out of her until she does. How's Bird? Well, let me put it this way. He's my oldest son, but I don't trust him. He lies about everything, including the variety of drugs he's on. And he's selfish as hell. And a lot like Jalecia, actually. All he cares about is himself. How old is he now? He's a year and a half older than Jalecia. He turns 42 in a couple of months. Wow, they grown. I swear, Lo, I'm tired of mothering. I'm not thrilled about grandmothering, and especially not about great-grandmothering, though it's less of a commitment since they're all in San Diego. You should visit them more often. I don't like driving that far. Well, why don't they ever come up here to see you? Honestly, my grandkids say they don't like traveling with their little ones, and my overeducated daughters are ashamed of me because I don't have a degree, though they don't have any problems asking me for loans they never pay back. I wish everything was easier. Me too. Anyway, we can head back to the car if you want to, Lo. Wait, this may be completely out of left field, but do you have any regrets about your life, Co? Hell yes. I should have gone to college. How's that? Did you have dreams you never told anybody about? Yes, but I can't remember them. You are so full of shit. Make yourself remember. We're not too old to make changes. Maybe I'll be a senior stripper. I pushed her. What about you? Did you really grow up wanting to sell beauty products? Of course not. I just wanted to work for myself, and I liked helping other women look good. You should add a makeup artist to your staff. I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyway, let's keep walking. I was hoping you said that. And she threw her long arms over my shoulders and pulled me against her. I am so grateful she is my friend. I wish Corinthia was my sister, or that my sister was more like Corinthia. Okay. What are you going to do with Grandpa's Explorer? Cinnamon asked after dropping by with an entire month's rent. But before I had a chance to digest what she just asked me or to give her a definite hell to the no, she blurted out, "Did I tell you we're going to be a family of 4 in less than 6 months?" Did she just say she's having twins? I crossed my arms, leaned all the way forward in my reading chair, and looked her in the eyes. Lord, Cinnamon, 2 babies? What are you going to do? They can't live on breast milk forever. I know, but, well, Jonas just got hired at Whole Foods, and I might have a job too, Grandma. Doing what? It's still up in the air. I don't want to jinx it. Well, good luck, I said, even though I was clearly not impressed. I hoped it showed. I hadn't given one thought to Carl's big black Explorer parked all these months in the garage, but without thinking, I uncrossed my arms, leaned back in my chair, and heard myself say, "You can have it." I immediately wish I hadn't said it, but of course, I couldn't take it back. Seeing the small globe forming under the waistband of her orange paisley skirt with the straggly hem made me feel sorry for her stupid ass. Pregnant with 10 twins, no less. Neither she nor Jonas has a clue about what to do with their own lives, let alone the lives of 2 babies. And I would not be able to sleep at night knowing they were riding around in a 2006 Prius with no working reverse. A car that don't reverse? I don't remember being this clueless when I was her age, although I probably was. BB King barked when Cinnamon started screaming, Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, over and over. She ran to me and kissed the top of my silver head. She even smelled like cinnamon and her belly was warm and soft, and I realized that this was the first time I felt an ounce of gladness since Carl had been gone. When Cinnamon left, I dialed Jalicia's number but got her voicemail. I hadn't thought about what I would say, so I just dove in. Hi, Jay. This is Mom again, calling again. I wish there was a way we could see each other soon. Could you please call me? I'm worried about you, and I would like us to act more like mother and daughter again, if you'll let us. Anyway, I love you, Jalicia. Please reach out. I promise not to bite. Oh, and congratulations on becoming a grandmother. Bye-bye. As soon as I hung up, I wish I could have hit rewind and delete the bite business. 2 weeks later, I was sitting at the kitchen table, thumbing through the mail when BB King started barking. I knew it couldn't be the pizza delivery because I only placed my online order 10 minutes ago, so I rushed to the front door thinking maybe it was Jalicia, even though I hadn't heard a peep from her. But it was not my daughter. It was one of Carl's nephews, one of the two who decided not to go back to Flint, and who was currently living rent-free in one of my apartments until he could find a job. I opened the door. Hello, Miss Larethia. I'm sorry for just dropping by like this, but I was wondering if I might speak to you about something. Sure, come on in, Kwame, I said, although I was thinking, please don't ask to borrow some money because I'm tired of being a linden tree. Thank you, he said, and ducked so his head wouldn't hit the door frame. Is something wrong? I asked. BB King, who usually growls at strangers, didn't. In fact, he strutted over to where Kwame had sat down and rolled over so his nose rested on the young man's humongous sneakers. Kwame bent over and rubbed BB King's head. Thank you, ma'am. No, nothing is wrong. At least, I hope not. I've been wanting to talk to you about something ever since I got to California. Is it good or bad news? Because I can't handle any more bad news. I guess it depends on how you look at it. I eased down in the recliner, realizing that this was the first time I sat in Carl's chair since he'd been gone. I did not lean back. Well, first off, Boone, you know the cousin who's been sharing the place with me? He took a bus back home yesterday. Why? He said he didn't like it here. What didn't he like? Well, he said California is just different. In what sense? Too many weird folks, and he didn't feel like he fit in here. Truthfully, I think he really just missed his girlfriend. What about you? Oh, I don't have a girlfriend, and I like it here. So far, it's just been kind of hard finding a decent job since I don't have a college degree. It sounds like you've been to college. I'm sorry. They decided to drive by now. It sounds like you've been to college. Really? Well, I'm about 10 credits shy of getting my associate's degree from the junior college in Flint. What happened? I just got bored. I played basketball in high school and everybody thought I was going to get a scholarship to a D1 school. So why didn't you? He started rubbing BB King's head again. I wasn't that good. Plus, I really didn't like playing. Just because I'm tall, everybody thought I should play. How tall are you? I'm only 6'6". Only. You ever think about going back to school? He nodded. What interests you? A lot of things, but nothing in particular. I decided not to press the issue because for some reason I didn't think this was why he had come over here. Can I get you anything to drink? No, ma'am. Well, I'm just waiting on a pizza, but it seems like something else is on your mind. Talk to me. He stopped rubbing BB King and sat up straight. Well, this is kind of hard for me to say, but I thought you might want to know that I'm not Carl's nephew. I'm his son. Oh, I don't know why, But I wasn't surprised to hear this. He looked just like Carl. But what I also knew was Carl obviously hadn't known about him, because he would have told me if he had. Thank you for telling me, Kwame. And I don't want you to think for a minute that hearing this has upset me. He looked stunned, and who could blame him? I don't want anything from you, ma'am. I just thought it was important that you know. How old are you? I just turned 25. Where's your mother? She's still in Flint. What does she do? She drinks mostly and does a few drugs. This made me lean back in Carl's chair. I did my best to soften my tone. How long have you known Carl was your father, Kwame? I only found out when he passed away. Really? Ma never told me. Why not? He looked down at the floor and then wiped his long finger back and forth across his chin. Because she didn't want me to know. Why not? I think because she was ashamed. Ashamed of what? Herself. And plus, I think she was worried that if I knew I had a father out in California, I'd leave. Who was it who told you? Everybody seemed to know but me, but a couple of my cousins finally told me on the bus to Carl's celebration. When the delivery guy rang the doorbell, BB King didn't jump up. He just gazed up at me, his eyes full of what looked like empathy, as if even he was certain that Carl had no idea he made a child before I met him, and that right here was a young man who needed some mothering. I got up and paid for the pizza, and then I heard myself ask Kwame if he would like to stay, and not just for dinner. And he said, yes, ma'am. That's the end of chapter 3. That was a nice little chapter. I'm liking these chapters. So sweet. Wow, Carl had a son, but good thing she said that it was before her, because her reaction was not as shocked as I was. I just thought it was going to be some drama. Look at me looking for some trouble. But there was one word that I don't know. So stay tuned for the definition video. Welcome to the definition portion. The word that I couldn't pronounce or don't know the definition of is spelled A-T-R-O-P-H-I-E-D. And this is how it is pronounced.
Atrophied.
Say it one more time.
Atrophied.
Atrophied. Okay, it's an adjective. It's a body of tissue or an organ wasted away or having lost effectiveness or vigor due to underuse or neglect. One more time.
Atrophied.
Atrophied. Okay, well, let me go back to the sentence. The sentence said, no, but cut me some slack. I said, yes, my bones are rusty and my muscles are atrophied. Look at you and look at me. Okay, so that's the end of the definition video. I shall see you in chapter 4. Bye for now.